Let's get ready to rumble.
Whoa. Guys, welcome to the show.
Guys, we got
Lucky number 69.
I thought 69 was last week.
No, that's this week, friend. Guys, this episode's going to be extra, super sexy because we have a guest.
What? I wasn't told about this.
Well,
who is it?
I want you to slowly turn to your right, and you may see someone sitting next to you.
Oh, God, no.
It's a good buddy, BAZ.
Welcome back, BAZ.
Why, hello, guys.
An unprecedented third appearance.
Literally the only person we've ever had as a guest.
Unprecedented because he's the only person who's ever been on the show who's not us.
Well, now I've got a hat trick.
Yeah,
he's got the hat trick, which is very sought after in the Suns guest community.
It's like if you're a hockey player and you scored 3 goals in very separated games, far away from each other.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Guys, he's here because he recently brought to me a viewpoint of which I don't agree about. And so we're going to argue about it.
Maybe with.
I don't, words are not...
You don't agree around it.
No one's listening to this podcast expecting me to say the words I mean to say, all right? That's not the show.
Okay, so are we going to set some ground rules for this super debate?
Okay, let's first talk about what we're debating.
Okay.
Do you understand what we're debating?
Yeah, but I want you to explain it for everyone else.
Well, as far as I remember it, Mr. BAZ, as we call him, it kind of sounds cool now that they say it. Kind of sounds like you're
like a Bond villain.
Yeah, like a Bond villain.
Hello, I am Auric BAZ.
Mr. BAZ seems to believe that Nintendo will shortly, I don't know about shortly,
shortly.
Okay, they will, in the long term, go out of business because of their refusal to go into the not mobile phone market, but the mobile app market. Correct? Am I speaking incorrectly there?
I would say it's also their blindness towards a couple of things.
Okay, that's what I would like to get into also, because for the first part, I don't agree with you at all.
And I don't know about go out of business. That's definitely a little bit of an overstatement. But I look at where RIM is right now, like BlackBerry, what they're trying to do, which is sell off the company either piecemeal or wholesale, and how they stuck their heads in the sand in 2008 and thought everything would be all right, and now where they are now. So, like 5 years.
Okay, you think in 5 years there's going to be a big problem?
Yeah, I think Nintendo might have a real issue on their hands.
Okay. I don't know about that, and I don't agree with it. And here's why. Because, one, the Wii was like the most selling system of all time, and two, because I don't believe that they're in the same market as a phone company. Because they are a video game company and not necessarily a phone company or like a mobile company. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can. There are certain technology always has similar trends, and if you don't identify them, guys, I'm not really taking a side here. I'm just listening.
Dude, you have to be the super moderator.
Come on.
Oh no, I'll give input, but I don't really. I don't have a dog in this fight. We'll say.
I think you have a dog, and you're not letting anyone see your dog, which is very rude.
I think I'm against dog fighting. I think that's my thing.
It could be a race. Well, some people are against dog races too.
Well, this line of thinking for me came to me when there was some discussion on a couple of tech websites I frequent.
Guys, before we go into it, Baz is not exactly a off the wagon,
He's not a Luddite.
He's aware of technology trends.
He's probably aware more of technology than we are.
Oh, thanks, guys.
He's very much aware of this of the business side of this more than we are, and that's why he is more of an expert than we are, and why I'm discussing it.
Yeah, so for a time worked at a well-known fruit stand company.
A fruit company. You currently work in advertising, which I don't know if that affects it.
That's a correct assessment, but it's not really related to this.
I mean, you know how businesses work a little bit.
I do know how businesses work.
More than we do, which is 0%.
I know how businesses work.
Well, I don't. Why don't you teach us about business then, D Marx?
I'm an economics major. Of course I know how businesses work.
Economics major. Guys,
anyway,
whatever.
That's neither here nor there.
I'm an ergonomics major.
I always want to be the most comfortable you can be.
Yeah.
Guys, can we get back on track?
Sorry.
Back on track.
I don't think you know what show you're on.
Yeah.
All right.
We're not exactly known for being on track.
Listen, one of the major points I want to convey here is that...
Well, hold on. We didn't say if there are any ground rules.
Ground rules is we got to keep it clean, no spitting.
Okay.
No swearing, right?
No insulting anyone's
mothers. If you
mothers.
really want to swear... And it's funny, then I'll let you do it.
I think I swore last time.
You swore like a million times last time.
No insulting anyone's mothers.
Yeah, that's... Dude, don't call me fat either, just as a general rule. Not just today. Just don't
It's
ever.
just in life.
Just don't call anyone fat. That's the new rule. All right,
Good.
we down with that?
Yeah, I think
that's
we can
fine,
all agree
that's
on that.
fine.
Okay,
Tap
great.
gloves, gardening gloves.
Tough shoes.
There you go.
Part of the can't. Okay, sorry. Go on. You want to bring something up first.
Oh boy, where was I going with that?
That's how we do it, guys.
Okay, so think of it this way: there are loads of kids out there who have hand-me-down iOS devices from their parents, and they play an awful lot of games on them. And what are the chances that they're going to be gifted a Nintendo handheld or like a Sony handheld when they have an iOS device that they spend money on already and they play games in already?
Yeah.
I understand your point.
And the argument is like the best camera is the one you have with you. So how smartphones have replaced so many people's point and shoot cameras and loud soda
I
opening
really
noises.
tried doing that off mic.
Yeah, okay. That's like the loudest thing in the show so far. Guys, he's in a batting cage right now. He really cracked a home run there.
Broke the machine. Anyway,
Because the wrong way to think about an iPhone and an iPod Touch, I guess, is that it's like a phone that has other functions. It's really a general purpose computer that's replacing a lot of
it's a
different
portable.
things.
It's a portable computer. Yeah. And I wouldn't even go so far as to say it's just a portable technology device.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like it doesn't just to call it a computer or a phone is grossly underselling its variety of functions.
And that's one of the reasons why I don't necessarily agree with your viewpoint that these devices are Nintendo, like, not, I'm going to say Game Boy, but you know what I mean, like portable gaming replacements, because the games they put out do feel like not as whole or complete or
because you always have the
you always have these like mini game style games.
well, you're always going to have the people who sneer at people who only play phone games as like casuals and stuff, and I think that's a reason why.
Well, it might go away if there were games for the iOS that were like deep, real games. Like there's ports of other games, and there's some big ones, but like most games are just.
Dude, XCOM was released for
yeah, I don't
iOS. I don't know if it's. I don't know
if it's good or not either. But the thing is, there isn't the kids who would play a game on a phone or an iPhone. You know, that's everybody. Everyone would do that gladly. But a kid who really likes games a lot is still going to ask his parents for a DS because the real games that he really wants to play, like your Pokemon or like Mario games, they don't come out for the iPhone. And you've argued with me before, Mr. BAZ, that Nintendo should get into releasing some of their IPs for the iPhone.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
huge point.
that is something I definitely agree
And
with.
it's how we started this argument, because I argued there's no reason for them to do it because kids will still want a DS, and if they said, hey, let's put our stuff on the iPhone, there'd be no reason for most people to buy a DS. And so by holding out on that, they're maintaining their livelihood.
But I don't think that's necessarily exactly what he was thinking. And I'm obviously putting words in your mouth. But like,
I want to say
I would say that the real gold mine would be putting classic IPs on there, like early Super Mario Brothers and stuff like that, because people would want to play that kind of stuff on their phones, and you wouldn't be detracting away from like your 3DS stuff. But people always want to play Mario. They always want to play like earlier Pokemon games. So if you
And they could be making money off that.
oh yeah, absolutely.
there's no harm in Nintendo dipping their toe in the water
Yeah.
of iOS and Android for that matter, which also has a massive market share.
Are you aware of
and-
any
and-
reason they couldn't do that? Like, is there maybe some kind of copyright reason that like Apple would be preventing this?
No, absolutely not. No,
Okay.
think of all the other game developers that have had huge hits on iOS.
Like Squaresoft does release games for iOS.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, yeah. It's
Sorry,
it's
they haven't
entirely
been
up
called
to
Squaresoft
Nintendo,
for
but
10 years.
I think where Nintendo sees their
Dude, everyone still calls it
value
Squaresoft.
No, yeah.
is not competing in hardware even, but having rather like a holistic experience between the software and hardware and how it ties together. For instance, the Wii U has that resistive touchscreen on there.
Yeah.
And the point of that is not to be the top-of-the-line multi-touch glass retina display like on an iPhone, but rather to be like a durable, lower resolution, something you use with a stylus. Like, Nintendo's never competed on hardware, right? They've always had last-gen hardware compared to, say, the Xbox. Or even if you look back as far as the original Game Boy, it had a black and white screen when the competing units had color screens.
Yeah,
like, remember the Neo Geo or
when it was
whatever?
against the Game Gear, too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
and,
wasn't
and,
even
and it's
close.
still
Well,
and it's
the-
still
the-
won,
the-
right?
the
and
Game- the
units
Game Gear-
sold
Game
and
Gear
total
came out
profit,
after
it still
Game Boy.
won.
It was closer to the color, I guess.
And that's only really been the case. What you were talking about That's only really been the case for the past, I guess,
2 generations, because the GameCube competed with the PS2.
Even then, it was slightly behind.
Well, the Wii certainly didn't. The Wii U certainly doesn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
also,
because I would say the past 3,
However,
which admittedly is a long part of Nintendo's service life.
And it's also been some of their most profitable. So
that is
he's
also
totally
very
right.
true.
Because
Nintendo has been winning the war on price.
well, would you say
That's
that the
always
Wii
been
U
its-
has ignited any kind of success?
Not nearly to the extent that the Wii did, or even the GameCube.
And from figures I've looked at, the 3DS year over year compared to the DS sales a year after it came out is not as successful by about 23%.
You can definitely look at sales figures for the Wii U and the 3DS and compare it to the previous generation. You definitely see that there's a definite drop off, because the thing is, like, and this has always been kind of why I think that I'm surprised that they're coming out with next gen consoles. Don't get me wrong, the Wii, the PS3, the Xbox 360, they've had a long service life. Like, it's been almost a decade now, but like, they're still relevant is the thing. Like, nobody's complaining about the lack of hardware on any of these things. Yeah. And that's why I'm surprised that they're trying to come out with stuff. Especially for the Wii and the Wii U. Because the difference between what the Wii U can do, don't get me wrong, the touchpad thing is really cool. And I've been reading a lot of stuff about it, about how you can actually just play games on it. People taking it across country and just playing it.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, like, that's awesome, and that's something that they really, I feel like, should be capitalizing a lot more, because that's a feature that I didn't know about that I don't think a lot of people do.
Yeah,
and that's what really I think would separate.
It's a neat little device. We can all agree on that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not selling the way the Wii did, but I feel like the way the Wii did will allow them to take more risks and maybe not have to worry about completely winning the market every single time while remaining in business.
Right. One of their strengths isn't having the bleeding edge GPUs, but rather innovating with interaction and hardware and games, and using their cast of family friendly characters that everyone knows.
Well, that's
to push these titles that are just iterated, time after time. They're kind of like Disney in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways,
very much so. And that's one of the reasons why. Because when the Wii came out and had its motion controls and stuff. The PlayStation Move and the Xbox Kinect, they don't compare to the Wii's motion controls. It probably is the best one out of all of them.
Yeah.
It did it right the first time, and they just...
Well, I guess earlier on. I feel like the Kinect's probably the strongest now.
Yeah, Kinect now has a following a little bit.
I'm not a huge gamer like you guys, but out of people I know, like my representative sample, no one I know is really jazzed about motion controls in general.
I'm not really, but
I think it's for younger people and more casual people.
It definitely is, but the Wii feels like, at least the Wii always made attempts that it never really tried to, for the most part, shoehorn it in. I always felt that the Wii's use of motion control was fairly responsible compared to what especially the PS3. But the PS3 and Kinect, with this kind of stuff that they were trying to pull with, especially with the
I don't know, some of the things were shoehorned in the Wii. Also, it's always something. It depends on the game.
It's always something.
Yeah, it is always something.
All right, I wanted to bring something else up.
Okay.
So this is something I saw in a Penny Arcade comic.
D Marx loves Penny Arcade. I like them
months
too.
And months ago, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But
now you don't
I don't
like
remember
them
the
anymore?
exact context of the panel, but he was saying if you had $40 to spend, would you rather spend it on Nintendo games, or would you rather go to the App Store and
one
see
Nintendo
what
game
apps
or
are available?
40 iOS
And I
games.
still
maybe not 40, but maybe like 5 or 6. You know, there's some that are $7 or $8.
Even 10 or 20. And the thing is, I still argue that no, I would gladly have a DS game over it, because here's the deal: there's Fire Emblem is not for the iOS. Pokemon isn't for the iOS. None of these really good games that I've really enjoyed on the portable systems have ever been.
Yeah, that's what makes Nintendo's portable market.
Yeah,
games like that.
They have actually good games because they've taken so much care to release full titles on their portable thing. Because even people like us who have all the consoles we could ever want and a strong PC, we're like, yeah, but I can't play the next Advance Wars on this. I still got to buy that.
Yeah.
But let's circle back to the earlier question then. If those games were out, those A+ Nintendo hardware titles, if those came to iOS, would you buy it? What if you get the new Fire Emblem for $8?
How could I not do that?
Exactly.
I know, but that would kill their.
Here's the thing.
Are you saying they should not make the console at all and only release for iOS?
Because if it only released for iOS, then really you're attracting a bigger market because I'll bet money more people have iPhones than have 3DSs.
Yeah, I think that's what you're
putting.
arguing, yeah.
So you're putting more. So you're putting your product out to more people with more access to it.
I see what you're
And
saying.
here's another thing. Do you think that Nintendo moving forward would ever build a platform? By platform, I mean like a software platform. Think of the software that you've encountered on the Wii and the 3DS and how not good it is. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine them ever being like a Microsoft or an Apple or a Google and making like a platform? I can't ever see that.
I mean, they have a virtual console. Is that kind of what you mean?
No, like an operating system.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think Nintendo's ever going to make their own operating
But
system.
and then here's the question that leads into that: do you think that they can keep up on the hardware front enough to compete with all the Android manufacturers, Apple, Microsoft potentially, and PlayStation?
I just don't know if they're in the same market as that. Is all.
Because I think that the Vita, it's Vita, right?
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Not Vita,
No,
like vitamin.
it's
I
like
assumed it was
the
Vita.
Sony Vitamin.
I think that the Vita is like a far better piece of hardware. I've used it like 3 or 4 times, and I was like blown away by how cool it was.
It's obviously a better piece.
It's a really neat gadget.
That's
just in general.
that's the Vita's selling point is that
And then
it's
you
a
look at
very
the
strong.
2DS or whatever that thing they just put out, and it looks terrible, and then it probably feels terrible.
I have a feeling that's for children. Like, I have a feeling that's like babies first, you know?
Well, I think that's
Babies first.
I think that's almost the entirety of Nintendo's market, though. That's like the entirety of their market.
Well, the
plan.
portable market is inherently a kid's market.
Yeah,
because it was spawned off, hey, we got to go for a long car ride. It was spawned off of, hey, Dad wants to watch TV, so we can't play the
Which
consoles.
leads me back to that same thing. Kids have a lot of iOS cast-off devices. You know, Mom's old iPad, Dad's old iPhone, my older brother's iPod Touch that he gave me when I got a new one.
Yeah.
And I think that a Nintendo that doesn't put games and their characters and their IP in front of kids at that age, when, say, you were playing Nintendo games, or you were playing Nintendo games, is a Nintendo that doesn't have any kind of mindshare from kids, and a Nintendo that has no future.
But I don't agree with that because Nintendo so far has had no problem getting in front of kids and still constantly does that. That's why they're still selling all these Wiis now. That's why they're still selling Mario games. That's why they're still selling DSs and new Mario crap.
I feel like
Even though these devices existed and the situation you described exists right now, they are still managing to do the thing you're saying.
Well, I think Baz is saying that Nintendo's kind of on the cusp of losing that fight. They're not doing poorly now because they are going along pretty well. But I think as the proliferation of iOS devices profligations Sodom no the more that these devices are diffused in the hands of younger people, because right now a lot of kids might not have that stuff, but as more and more technology progresses and parents have the more opportunity to buy new stuff and give their old stuff to their kids, that's when I think you're going to see a shift in balance.
Yeah, because right now, like, things like the iPad have only been out for maybe, 6 years?
Yeah.
And so, like...
No, not even 6 years.
And people...
2010.
And people
really?
Yeah.
And people are still holding off.
I know, it seems weird.
Yeah.
People are still holding off on buying stuff like that.
So, like, maybe it'll be in, 10 years when everyone has their old iPad still hanging around. But that's maybe an Apple problem, too, is that they seem to obsolete their own stuff, which might make them make handing these things down not as...
Well, there's definitely a faster refresh cycle, and that's intentional for a lot of reasons. And Apple's one of the least guilty parties. You look at Samsung and HTC.
It seems they're coming out with. It seems they're coming out with a Galaxy like every other week.
Yeah, there's
like
a lot of.
But I still.
Well, there's this inexorable march towards better and better hardware that Nintendo doesn't have that kind of refresh cycle. Not even close. And I'm not sure if that's good or bad. I mean, obviously they build these hardware devices that stick around
that is
for a
indicative
while.
of the console market as well.
Yeah.
Because the manufacturers have to make their money back.
Yeah.
So they're going to let it sit a little while so that people will pick it up, as opposed to an Apple or a Verizon that can put out new phones every year or every 6 months or whatever, and still have people who will buy a new product every time. It's not the same thing with consoles.
Two more things I'd like to bring up.
Okay, do it.
What if Apple made a gaming console that was cheaper or as cheap as the current generation, and they came out with a hardware controller or some sort of thing that worked with iOS devices, which already have gyroscopes, built-in motion controls, all ability to plug
use
into
an iPad as your gamepad,
and played like app market games.
Yeah, but they don't have to be ones that are touchscreen. They can be downloaded specifically for the Apple game console. Whatever the heck.
How would it do? You're asking?
I would call it the Orchard.
I would say it would do poorly. And what you might say? Well, why would you say that? Because the only reason these iOS games are that big is because they're on a device everyone has, like you said before. And I feel like people wouldn't buy a console specifically for that, which you've seen in failures like the Ouya.
Is the Ouya a failure?
What have you heard about the Ouya lately?
I didn't think it was even released yet.
Hear about that big launch that happened a few months ago?
It was kind of interesting. I heard it came out and all that.
I didn't hear it even came out.
People did not like it.
I didn't even hear it came out.
Maybe like 2 people have said it's nice.
Okay.
That's for a certain subset, I guess, but not me.
I don't think I like the idea that you're bringing up, but I don't think it would compete with.
I guess what this all kind of boils down to for me is it's like a fundamental question of whether there's room for single-purpose devices in general, and is gaming as a business and these like single-use platforms, specifically Nintendo.
Well, you see PS4 and the Xbox One really trying to move away from that.
Diversifying.
They're becoming home entertainment center things.
Yeah.
So is it?
Because I mean, the Wii, as far as I know, the Wii U can still do most of that stuff.
Yeah.
It can still stream your Netflix or your Hulu or whatever.
I respect what you're saying in that you're wondering if it's economic for families to buy a device that can only do one thing that's more, I don't want to say child focused, but a recreational activity like this instead of being a whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's a very good question, but I believe the answer is yes, because I mean, not everyone's going to be able to afford it, yeah, but like people most of the time, we always somehow found they're always the cheaper of the options, which makes sense if they're less versatile. And so we always found a time, if it was really expensive, we waited a year to buy it. Like it always eventually happens. It's something that people will always find some money for eventually. Because like at $100,
yeah, but you can't base a business around eventually.
Well,
you really can't do that.
I can try.
Yeah.
That's what this whole podcast business is. Guys, we're going to catch you after the break, eventually. Guys, welcome to the show.
Don't be a stranger.
How'd you like that song? Was it good for you as it was for me? Episode 69.
Damn.
It's getting sexy. Anyway, guys, so here's a funny story. Remember how last week I was like, I have no interest in buying Saints Row 4? Well, I still don't.
I was about to say, to be fair, you still don't.
I still don't. That's why I already own the game. Guys, I bought a new video card recently, and I forgot about this, but it was an AMD 7950. Anyway, but it came with 3 free games, and they just put Saints Row 4 on it, so I got Saints Row 4 now, and I've been playing it, which is weird, right? And everything D Marx said last week is right. Like 100% right.
Thank you.
Like,
do you want to recap?
I'm going to recap.
Wait, AMD makes video cards now?
Yeah, they're Radeons.
Oh.
Radeon HD.
Yeah, because they bought ATI.
Yeah.
Okay, off topic.
They're great cards. Guys, I know nobody cares, but I don't know why, but I don't really buy NVIDIA cards, and I don't really buy the other kinds either. But I don't know. Anyway, the point is, here's the deal about Saints Row 4. It's really, really fun, and it's clearly well made to be fun. Like, I hate to say it, because you want to be like, this is stupid and doesn't need to exist.
That's what I thought.
It is stupid, and it doesn't need to exist. And I'm not sure it's a Saints Row game. But you play it, and you're like, this is carefully crafted to be fun and immediately gratifying.
You're just like, oh, man, I'm having fun.
You're like, this story is stupid. All these things are ridiculous. But I'm playing it, and I feel like a superhero, and I'm having a ton of fun. I'm punching this dude's heart out, and now I'm going to go punch this other dude's heart out, and nothing is going to stop me on my constant quest for fun.
Here's some food for thought. Do you think that Saints Row filled the gap that GTA no longer occupies, because all the Grand Theft Auto games seem to be like these massive productions that have like Sopranos level storytelling,
as opposed to like the simple
like grimdark realism.
Yeah,
and now it's like, well, Saints Row, someone had to do that, and like those guys stepped up to play, and they're like, yeah, you can like Super Saiyan punch.
Well, if you look at the way Saints Row, if you look at the Saints Row franchise and compare it to the GTA franchise, the first game was just a GTA clone, pretty much without any questions at all. The second one was people liked the second one. It was a little more.
The second one was just as grim, but it had things that weren't in the story that you could do that were wacky.
It was a little more comedic. It was a little more lighthearted, and
the third one lost its mind.
Yeah, the third one went totally nuts, and it. And Yahtzee made this point on his review. It had really inconsistent tone.
Yeah,
because it really went back and forth between being psychopathic murderers and not professional fun men.
It's like the one team of writers was out of the office. The one where
exactly.
They were on vacation at a beach.
Wait, what the hell is this?
And then they came back.
We can't put this out. It's already out. No.
And then the fourth one was just entirely just.
Guys, it's the best Matrix game you'd ever play.
It really is.
It's a bunch of stuff that you're like, I don't know.
Dude, why isn't there bullet time?
It is a Matrix game.
No, but why isn't there bullet time?
Like Max Payne style?
If you had told me there was bullet time, I would have assumed there was.
Oh, there's not.
Okay, great. But it's, guys, like, it's not just thrown together. It is a DLC. It feels like it could have been a DLC, but there's clearly more to it than that. And the thing is, it's been they really have thought about making the game smooth feeling. Because you'll be running, and, like, what you want to happen will happen.
Yeah, the constant flow. It's the same reason why Assassin's Creed works so well.
Yeah.
Because that constant flow of motion and just being able to keep moving as opposed to have to weave around buildings or like do stuff like that. Instead, you can just power jump over stuff and run up walls. And
the controls were carefully crafted to never get in your way, because there'll be times when you'll be like, I hope this works the way I want it to. It always does. It always works the way you want it to. And, like, everything's always great. And, like, it's forgiving in that regard, but it's clearly been carefully crafted. It hasn't been thrown together with, like, hey, it's the old town, but you have super moves, go. It's like, hey, let's make these super moves work right for this environment.
I was about to say, it's like I said, I can't really call them out on not changing the map too much, because there's clearly so much focus on the gameplay.
Because they work so hard on making the game run right. Guys, I haven't beaten yet. I've only played it for maybe 3 or 4 hours, but I can't go to you, our trusting audience, and tell you this game isn't fun. Or I can probably tell you it's good, too. I can't tell you it's a bad game. I can't do that right now.
Yeah, I mean...
I can tell you it's not Saints Row 2. I can tell you it's not Saints Row 3.
It's fun and satisfying, and by that quality, it's a good game.
Yeah, and that. I'm not gonna... I'm thinking of making a review about it. I might do it, because I feel like I need to properly show what I mean, and so we might do that in the future. But I just wanted to tell you guys that. In case you're wondering, the other games I bought was the new Devil May Cry, which I plan on never playing.
That's good.
And the new Tomb Raider, which I plan on never playing.
The new Devil May Cry was alright. I played a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, it was fun.
But I miss my Dante.
Is it weird that I don't really consider myself a gamer, but I wouldn't play that game
even if you were?
Simply because it's too goofy sounding? Like, I like games that are, like, serious.
But that's
Dude, everyone. There's stuff for everybody.
That's the gimmick behind Devil May Cry. Is that it always...
He's talking about Saints Row.
Oh.
Yeah, I never even touched Devil May Cry.
Oh,
there was
sorry.
some guy with cool guns in it or something. Though.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Devil May Cry. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's the appeal of Saints Row.
If I played it, I'd be like, this is just goofy. I'm not getting anything out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also wonder about Saints Row 4, guys, if it would make sense to a person just starting the franchise to start on 4, and I want to say it would not.
No, probably not.
I want to say it would absolutely. You'd be like,
I think you'd have to play 3 before you played 4.
You have to play at least 3, but there's a lot of references to 2.
Imagine someone who's never played video games before playing 4.
Dude, then it'd probably be
Wait,
all right.
there's aliens, and then what happens?
No,
they'd have fun with it.
Yeah, they'd probably have fun.
Yeah, maybe.
But do I think it's worth $50? No, I don't know. I don't know about that. Do I think it's worth $20? Definitely. 30? Maybe. We'll work out a deal.
Would you buy it for iOS for $8?
Sure.
I'm not sure if it would work on iOS.
This thing needs to get about 1 million more buttons, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I want to say.
No, it's all Siri controlled. Siri, use kinetic blast.
Punch that guy's heart out.
Dude, that'd be brutal.
Super speed. Thank you.
Guys, yeah, that's all I want to say about that.
Performing super speed.
In other news, there was a new Rome 2 patch, which is better, but it's not perfect yet, so get ready for me to complain about that for a few more weeks.
Dude, we should do a review about Rome 2. That's what we should do.
Dude, it's not ready yet.
No, that's why we should do a review of it.
I don't want to be mean to it.
We're not being mean.
I want to love
truthful.
and hug it.
See, that's a serious game. I want to play some of those games now after hearing you guys talk about it.
Total Wars.
Rome 2 is got so much potential, and D Marx is a hater because he hasn't spent the time I have.
No, I'm not a hater.
He's drinking the haterade.
I'm not a hater.
H8R.
H8R, dude.
I'm not a hater.
All right, I'm not going to bogart this whole segment with my crap. I've just been playing these things, and I've been playing more War Thunder, because War Thunder is still a great game, guys.
Yeah, War Thunder looks really cool.
I can't stress enough how good that game is, guys. If you like World War II and you like planes, I don't understand what you're doing right now.
It's like going to an air show.
Isn't there like one? There's not. I for some reason think that there's one faction that's missing though. Japanese, Germans, no, I guess they got all of them.
You got all the important ones. You don't have the Swedish. Do they count?
No, well, you don't have the. Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
Chinese Air Force.
No, you don't have Chinese Air Force.
Oh yeah, Chinese would be rad.
How about Anzac?
Here's
for your Australian, New Zealand listeners.
I was wondering if they had something like that, but they don't.
No.
Guys, there's one plane that I noticed was missing, which irritates me, but it's only kind of missing. They don't have P-40 Warhawks.
Warhawks.
They have P-40E Kitty Hawks, which I guess are close enough.
Probably.
I want some of our more plane-learned listeners to write in and tell me if that's the exact same plane. I believe it isn't.
Maybe one's a trainer variant. You know, they had so many variants for
planes.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, they're both P-40s. I think probably the Kitty Hawk was earlier. I don't know. Warhawk is the one that the Flying Tigers flew, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, everyone knows the Corsair is the best plane in World War II, though.
Which country had those?
Corsair? United States.
Yeah, it's the American.
Which number is that? I just learned what number the
F4U Corsair, Chance Vought.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
it's
in
a
there.
Folding gull wings.
Dude,
come on, Pappy Borington.
Here's
the
deal.
That's what the the planes on Rivet City. That's what they're based off of.
Oh, awesome, dude.
Yeah.
The thing is, I love planes and I love the way they look, but I cannot point them out or recognize them.
Dude, I can't do that with like German planes. I'm pretty good with American planes.
You got to go back in time and be an 11-year-old boy fascinated with World War II planes.
That's what I should do.
Dude, my favorite's
I'll start today.
I'll start today being a young boy.
Going back in time. First, I'll make the time machine. Then I'll go back to that time to be obsessed with planes.
Dude, my favorite's always the P-38.
Which one's that?
The double plane.
Lightning.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's always my favorite.
Yeah,
I always like the.
Yeah, I was. I just discovered that the Mustang is in the game because I was like, you're like, obviously this is the coolest one. I'm like, what is this?
I didn't say it was
again?
the coolest one. I said that's the one that everyone's going to know.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the Mustang.
I forgot about it,
Yeah.
but it's totally in there. It's like 14 levels above me though. I'll get it.
Well, it was an advanced fighter.
I'll get it within this year.
It was advanced.
Takes forever. Anyway, guys, that's all I'm doing. Sorry, I bogarted the whole segment. I feel bad. I'm gonna go to my room.
We started playing Last Light, guys, for the Let's Play.
Metro, Last Light, guys.
The spookiest of all games.
It's significantly less spooky.
So far,
less spooky. Is that all you want to say?
Oh, I mean, we can talk about my stuff.
Yeah, talk about your stuff.
Okay.
What is your stuff?
A few weeks ago on Green Man Gaming, Final Fantasy VII was on sale for Steam, and I rebought that, and I started playing it. Pro tip, game still holds up pretty well. Graphics are obviously very outdated, but...
You played the one on Steam, right?
Yeah, that's one I bought.
Yeah.
It's one of the 2 Final Fantasy games I have played.
Yeah. I love Final Fantasy VII. I think it's definitely my favorite one. I definitely like it a lot more than 10, which I'm not sure Tom would agree with.
I think 7's probably better than 10, but 10's one of my favorites.
I like the world of 7 better, especially Midgar. I really like Midgar.
Actually, I might like 10 more than I like 7, but that's just me. That's me being a nutcase. I haven't played 7 since I played 10. That's my problem.
Yeah, I can see that being.
I'm
a
less
problem.
experienced. But
yeah, I'm still having fun. Everything's great.
That was a game you played on vacation, right? So you might say it's your summer game.
Possibly.
Game.
I mean, I would say that
late summer game.
My summer game was probably. I would say my summer game is probably Civ.
What about XCOM? That was kind of in the summer.
I feel like that was earlier.
That was a spring game.
I would say with Civ. Civ would probably be this.
Yeah, you've been playing the heck out of it, guys. They still have not put Brave New World on sale.
I actually haven't played it for a while, and I'm not going to play it again until Brave New World's coming on sale. What I have been playing, though,
whoa!
I've been playing a lot of Mountain Blade with Fire and Sword, which is awesome, because that game rules.
Guys, D Marx is the only person I've ever heard of liking with Fire and Sword.
Really? The only person?
Most people say that to completely avoid it, compared to Warband, which is the best version?
I like Warband. Warband's very good. It's definitely better.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
I'm really in that mood for European musket combat because I've been researching. I've been researching a lot about the 30 Years War and stuff.
Dreams of Blunderby.
That's where I am now, guys.
That's where I'm at. That's just me.
Well, no, the problem is that there's a mod for Warband called Sword of Damocles.
It's really metaphorical though.
And that adds it takes it to that late Renaissance, early modern era. It adds 6 new factions, which is sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
Why aren't you playing that?
Because I don't know how because it only works with a certain version of the game, and they just released a new patch for Warband that makes it so that it doesn't work, and I can't get the dedicated version that I downloaded of the other game.
I'm sure they'll make a fix for it eventually.
Probably.
Sounds complicated.
I mean, why even worry about it, though? The market of late Renaissance games taking place in Eastern Europe is so filled with things.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. It's really a saturated market. We all know.
You could just go play Call of Duty Slovak edition.
Call of Duty, Prague edition.
Rivacheg combat.
The Czech prerogative.
Yeah, there you go.
That's pretty good. Checks and balances, right?
That's good. No. I don't know what the big problem with.
I like the fire and sword.
I don't know why it's not as good. No.
It's very different playing in general.
The addition of muskets really changes things, like it did in real life.
Like it did in real life.
I like the fact
introduction of the musket changed modern combat.
I really like that everyone speaks in they speak like Polish or whatever because you're in that part of the world. It just feels cool.
No, I respect that. I respect that you dig it because I like that you got into the Mountain Blade situation after my years of telling you how great it was.
The only reason I didn't play it was because I didn't think I'd have a computer run it.
But now you do.
Yeah, and now I can't stop playing it, which is a serious problem.
I know. Guys, I spoke about it before. Mountain Blade is one of the best PC games you'll ever play because it's just incredibly
But it's
addictive.
not for everybody. Not everybody would like it.
It's for anyone who wants to feel like you're the raddest mercenary captain in the history of the medieval times. Not the restaurant. The time period.
That sounds pretty cool.
No, it is really cool.
No, Mountain Blade kicks ass, dude. It's so good.
Because you're like, hey... Oh, cool. Eventually, because you start out, you're, getting beat up by bandits. You're like, this sucks. And then if you're man enough to get through that part, you'll just be standing there on your sweet horse with your giant lance watching as all your sweet Mamluks crush all your enemies. That's awesome.
No, the problem is that, in Fire and Sword, I'll be, traveling around, and I'm allied with the Crimean Khanate, and so we're at war with, everybody now, and it really sucks, because my caravanning has really had to take a back seat. But I run into these enemy patrols, and they'll be like, "Yes, I'm the king of Sweden." I'm like, "I'm gonna push you aside gently," and then he'll have 47 prisoners of all sweet janissaries and sipahis and stuff, and they're like, "Yes, get on the boat."
Guys, Mountain Blade is one of the best examples in the modern generation of dynamic storytelling, which is when you make the story yourself in a game, which is one of the things that I enjoy the most. About games.
It's an indie game. You don't have to hate yourself for playing.
But it never gets old when you, for some reason, you're playing the game and you get crushed by some douchebag. No,
that's the thing.
And then later you're in a different faction and you fight him and you're like, this is the time I get my revenge. No, and it's awesome. And you're the grim specter of death.
No, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps is one of the most satisfying things of that game.
Awesome. That game will never not be satisfying. We did, guys, a Teach Me How to Play for Warband in case you want to start playing it. I hate to pimp our own product.
I feel like we need to redo that because you missed some stuff that I feel like.
Hold on, friend. I got you in there.
That's true.
I got you in the door.
But you didn't teach anyone about couching, which is the most important thing.
I most certainly did teach about couching.
No, you didn't.
How did I not teach about couching?
I don't know, but you did.
It's the most important thing.
Teach a man about couching. Couch for life.
Couch surfing.
Yo.
Teach a man about couch surfing.
Exactly. Teach me how to couchy. Yo, Brent, we should go to the Renaissance Fair at some point. This guy went to a Renaissance Fair.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's basking in that Ren Fair glow.
A year ago. All I remember is falconry, which is amazing, and giant turkey legs.
They do have...
So 2 bird-related things.
Do they have giant turkey legs?
Yeah.
Hold on. Do they have the Scotch egg there?
Yeah, that's where I got it. It's delicious.
Whoa! Guys, I just learned what Scotch eggs are, and I want to eat all... That's all I want to eat now.
Wait, what are they?
Scotch egg is a hard-boiled egg, and then you wrap it in sausage and you deep fry it. It's delicious.
Oh, no way.
It's like a breakfast.
It's like a breakfast
explosion.
ball. Yeah, it's really good.
You eat it, and then you're done eating for like the rest of your life.
No, it was super good. Also, it's on a winery, so I tried a bunch of wines while I was there.
Dude, but like, and there's like, okay, you got breakfast bombs, you have wineries, you got jousting, and you have cleavage. What part of that does not sound good?
You missed the falconry.
There is falconry too.
Oh, we also did like a sword fight thing.
Yeah, what's that?
Like we put on like leather armor.
Is this just made up?
No, we have video of this. We put on like leather armor, and they like tied balloons to it, and you had to whap off the balloons with your sword.
What kind of sword was this?
It's like a fencing sword with the blade removed and replaced with like a more flexible piece of metal.
I'm into that. Dude, here's the thing about the Renaissance Fair. It starts early January and it ends late January.
Yeah.
I mean, of the
next year.
Yeah.
If they overlap.
Because like I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, man, I should go to this Renaissance Fair sometime. Never been. What's that? It's already started? Okay. Maybe I'll think about it. And then I always miss it.
Yeah.
But like it goes on for like 7 months. Guys, whatever. Do you know what's going to keep going on? Us bothering you to send us emails.
And reviews on iTunes, because we like that.
Guys, we are up to the big number 13 on there of iTunes ratings.
I can't believe that.
Guys, we know that if you get one review on iTunes, it basically means that 1 million people are listening.
It's the equivalent of several 100,000, yeah.
So right now we're at like 13 million listens, and that's great.
Well, 13 million reviews.
Sorry, yeah. We're the biggest podcast in the history of history.
Yeah.
Basically. But it's because of our one segment. We know. You skip the other stuff and you come right to this. Our classic Speed Reviews.
Tom, this is the top 10 forgotten PS1 gems, brought to you by BAZ.
Yeah.
Number 10, Casper.
Casper is a friendly ghost. At least that's what they said until he touched me down there. 0 out of 10.
Number 9, Rage Racer.
In this game, you have to run away from your anger problems or else you're going to get fired from your job. 9 out of 10.
Number 8, Hogs of War.
Hogs of War is a game that looks like... I really don't know. I'm seeing there's probably a pig. That seems like too much.
It's Worms with Pigs, says right there.
It's Worms with Pigs? Can't do it. I can't even listen to this. 0 out of 10.
Number 7, Kodelka.
Kodelka is if you took the Kodak company and then you mixed it with a whelk, which is a sea snail, and then you have snails that can take pictures, and it's really cool. It gets 10 out of 10.
Number 6, Rapid Racer.
That's one thing you don't see much of these days. Games that allow you to race speedboats. In fact, it's something you don't see much to begin with. I have blah, 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 0 out of 10.
Number 5, Jade Cocoon, Story of the Tanamayu.
Jade Cocoon is where Jade's butterflies come from. It's an etymology game. Gets a 1 out of 10.
Number 4, Kula World.
Kula World's a game about everyone's favorite thing, the Kula, which I am very familiar with. And that's why it gets 7 out of 10?
It's a Katamari Damacy prototype. It looks like.
I guess.
Number 3, Toombi.
2 out of 10.
Number 2, Karushi.
Karushi. It's a game about a samurai who cuts off people's Karushi nerve, which is one of the most important ones I hear. I guess. 10 out of 10.
Number 1, Overboard.
Overboard is what happens when you fall off a ship. It's not much to it, so it's a 1 out of 10. Guys, that's it. We'd like to thank Baz for being here, and we'll see you guys later.